You're watching Mirror 7 News. Stay informed, stay ahead for more news.
The US Open men's singles final was already set to be a marquee event, with Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner facing off once again in a high-stakes clash. But the story taking shape off the court has drawn just as much attention. The United States Tennis Association, or USTA, quietly circulated a memo to broadcasters over the weekend, asking them to avoid showing any protests or negative crowd reactions connected to Donald Trump's attendance at the match. According to the memo, Trump was scheduled to be shown during the pre-match ceremony, which featured the U.S. national anthem. The instruction to television partners was clear: no disruptions or hostile crowd responses should be broadcast in any capacity. In other words, if the crowd booed, if there were signs of dissent, or if anyone tried to make a statement, that moment was not supposed to reach the millions of viewers watching around the world. This move wasn't unprecedented. The USTA defended the decision by saying that broadcasters are routinely asked not to show off-court disruptions. A spokesperson even pointed out that the organization aims to keep the focus on tennis rather than side spectacles. Yet the timing and target of this request were striking. After all, Trump's relationship with the US Open goes back decades. He once held a suite at the tournament for nearly 20 years, attending frequently before he entered politics. His last appearance in 2015, during his first presidential campaign, was met with loud boos from the crowd. Since then, he has not been seen at Flushing Meadows until now. It was reported that Trump attended as a guest of a sponsor, watching from a suite with heightened security. ESPN, one of the major broadcasters of the event, declined official comment. However, sources suggested the network intended to acknowledge his presence, as it normally would with high-profile guests, but otherwise stick to its typical coverage of the on-court action. This decision by the USTA sparked immediate debate. Supporters of the move argued that the governing body was simply protecting the integrity of the match and ensuring the spotlight stayed on the athletes. Critics, however, saw it as censorship, claiming it stripped authenticity from the event. For many, the US Open has always represented the spirit of New York: rowdy, diverse, unfiltered, and democratic. Shielding a politician, especially one as polarizing as Trump, from live reactions seemed to cut against that very character. Whether fans in the stadium chose to cheer or boo, their voices were part of the event's atmosphere. Yet, thanks to this directive, millions watching at home may never truly know how the crowd responded. The match itself will be remembered for the extraordinary tennis played by two of the sport's brightest stars. But in the background, the USTA's attempt to manage the optics around Trump's presence will linger as one of the defining subplots of the 2025 US Open. Stay subscribed for more videos.